Under the sunlight, a sweating fella seems to freeze in shock at something weird. This scene catches the eye of a missionary in the distance, and Dracula also notices him, so he wisely decides it's time to disappear, looking down and sneaking off into the shadows. But the missionary isn't letting him off that easy. In a panic, Dracula ducks into a blacksmith shop, only to find himself trapped, angrily searching for an escape. There's the exit right in front of him, but alas, the deadly sunlight forces our vampire to take the long way around. Just then, the missionary barges in through the door and announces, "I know sunlight is your kryptonite." Then, he whips out a shiny silver sword, and Dracula, feeling cornered, wears an expression that says, "Uh-oh," while the blacksmiths around him scatter in fright. The missionary realizes Dracula hasn't hurt his vampire snack yet, but his duty pushes him to raise his sword, pleading to take action against Dracula. But Dracula suffers, unable to save his wife and people. Seeing this, the missionary swiftly turns to throw him a surprise. In the room, sunlight beams down, sizzling Dracula's skin. Loud screams ensue. He screams in agony, and nearby folk scatter like roaches. Meanwhile, soldiers rally around, torches raised, ready to judge their leader. Maria knows Dracula dealt with demons to save them, but no one cares now. The cold-blooded crowd surges in, waving torches, ready to scrub this demon from their history. In a flash, the torches ignite the blacksmith shop, flames roaring up high, and Marina's scream only fuels the mob's frenzy as the shack is engulfed in fire. Marina watches helplessly as her husband is consumed by flames, tears streaming, until strange black smoke starts to rise ominously. The black smoke spreads rapidly, blocking out the sun. Before the cross of Jesus, a deafening beastly roar erupts, and everyone's eyes dart to the fiery stage. Then, Dracula appears wreathed in flames, stepping out of the inferno, glaring at the soldiers who wronged him before glancing back at the blood. "This is your loyalty and gratitude? How foolish. Did you really think you could survive by fighting? You're alive because of me. Just look at what I've done to save you." To prevent her husband losing it, Marina rushes to calm him. Seeing her tears, Dracula looks down. She never imagined this treatment, but thinking about the enemy in her resolute gaze reaffirms her strength. She casts her gaze aside as Dracula orders everyone back to their posts before leaving the square. Just a week ago, he was an ordinary man, all because he stumbled upon a mysterious cave. Dracula picks up some bone fragments and is shocked to find they are all human remains. Meanwhile, the guards glance deeper into the cave, where skulls are piled high, and an evil creature. When guards sense danger, it's too late. The evil creature lunges, tearing the man to shreds. Dracula realizes demons are indeed real and tries to flee the cave, but the gap in strength leaves him powerless as the guards behind him are slaughtered in an instant. He makes a dash for the cave entrance, thinking he's a goner, but luckily the monster halts its pursuit as direct sunlight blocks its path, retracting its tail and vanishing into the darkness. On the brink of death, Dracula feels helpless as the monster's blood starts to evaporate under the sunlight. Everything seems to vanish into thin air, and later Dracula the prince visits the church. The missionary explains the cave-imprisoned demon is vampire's ancestor, once an ordinary human like them. He made a deal with the demon for dark powers, though the demon granted his wish, it tricked him all the same. The price? Lifetime confinement in the cursed cave, freed only by a successor. Just when he thought this was all over, a new twist popped up during Easter celebrations. The Turkish leader's envoy arrives to collect tribute, explicitly demanding 1,000 boys to join his army. Dracula is taken aback, for 10 years ago, he was forcibly conscripted by the Turks and trained as a soldier. To halt conscription, he fought for years, amassing victories, returning home only to find promises broken. For the sake of his people's future, he visits the Turkish camp hoping to negotiate with the new sultan, only to find his once brother now cold as ice. Not only does he demand 1,000 boys from Dracula, but insists his son joins too. During the son's handover, Marina is heartbroken, but Dracula, the leader, feels utterly powerless. For the well-being of his people, he has to make significant sacrifices, just as his father had done in the past, as the words spoken by the Turkish envoy deeply pierced his heart. Looking back at his wife, Dracula makes a fateful decision. He tells his son to run, and as the boy escapes, he whips out the envoy's weapon. In a flash, Dracula lops off the envoy's arm, then swings the sword, resolving the immediate threat. He engages in a wild brawl with Turkish soldiers, unleashing his fury as the fearsome warrior. Sure enough, he exterminates several enemies in an instant, but this move seals his fate as a mortal enemy of the Turks. Remembering the Turkish army, Dracula looks at the mountain holding the vampire ancestor. In pursuit of a glimmer of hope, he risks it all and decides to venture back to that dangerous territory. Carefully, he enters the cave, filled with the bones of humans and creatures, a place he was now venturing deep inside for the first time. Suddenly, the vampire ancestor appears, shocked to see the only one who lived to tell the tale return. Dracula states plainly he's here to save his people and family, but the ancestor grabs him by the neck and shoves him against the wall. His sharp claws break the skin, the ancestor tasting the blood. With thirst in his eyes, his tongue slithers forward, inching toward the wound. Quickly verifying Dracula's truth, the ancestor retracts his tongue, stating he's been trapped here for centuries waiting for someone with Dracula's. Then, with a mighty smash, he crushes a dried-up skull,